Jesus himself has rejected Forest. Welcome to your Forest transfer news. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news, where we'll be giving you the latest update on Cunha and Jesus himself. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new here, as we're well on the road to 25,000 subscribers. You could fill Bournemouth Stadium twice over with you guys. And let's jump into the news. Oh, by the way, I'll be on Football Heritage tonight at 6 over on Sava's channel. So if you want to tune in there, make sure you do. But anyway, we're here for the Forest. So Igor Jesus from Botafogo, according to reports coming out of Brazil, has rejected a move to Forest. This after reports stating that Forest have put a €30 million bid in, which is about 27 million pounds for the player. And it's not the club that has rejected it. It's the player himself, for a variety of reasons. One, he says he's quite happy at Botafogo. And secondly, he didn't really like the offer that was put on the table from Forest in terms of his salary. So let me run you through the report, then I'll tell you about the player as well, who we have spoken about. So the report says Botafogo received an offer from Forest for Igor Jesus. The amount was close to €30 million. However, the striker has rejected the offer because he says the clubs didn't even sit down to discuss details of the deal, such as counter offers or bonuses. Botafogo even considered the amount interesting, but could do nothing about it because the striker rejected it. Igor believes that the best thing he can do for his career currently is stay at Botafogo. And furthermore, as I mentioned, he said the salary values offered by the English club were also not seen as interesting by his entourage. The news of Forest's offer was first given to the profile Footmas and confirmed by GE. So there's a few sources claiming that this is the case. Haven't heard too much of it from the England side of the pond, but it does seem that an offer was put in. Now, who is he? Well, as I said, we brought him to you a couple of weeks ago to tell you that Forest were interested in him. He is a striker that was at Al Shabab Al Ahli in Dubai, and he is now over in Brazil. Now, at Al Shabab, he was banging in the goals left, right, and centre. But not so much for me at Botafogo. If I give you his actual stats here, at El Shabab, he played 66 games, 34 goals. And at Botafogo, he's played 26 games and scored 6 goals. That's not that big. So have I seen much of this player? Not too much, if I'm being honest with you. From what I've seen of him, is he the right fit at Forest? He could be. He's still young. He's only 23 and has plenty of potential to grow. Does banging the goals in at Shabab Al Ahli in UAE, make him a good striker? Of course it doesn't. So I'm not really that heartbroken over this one. He's one that I think would have worked nicely in the setup we have, where you got Chris Wood, who's obviously in form scoring the goals, the senior number 9, if you like, and Igor could have come in. A bit like we've seen with Miguel, for example, come in, become an understudy to Chris Wood to eventually take over the reins from him when Chris Wood, his legs stop running fast or whatever. So that would have been a nice setup, and that would have given Forest a chance to develop him. But if Forest are offering like 26 odd million pounds for a striker to come in at second fiddle, it either shows that they are very interested in the player, they see his potential, or someone, a man like Edu, as people would say, is the one driving this. Because there are also links to him to Arsenal as well, because those links are historic from Edu's time at Arsenal. So there's a lot going on in this. But as things stand, it sounds like he ain't moving from Botafogo, well, at the very least, not to Forest. But I ask my Brazilian viewers out there, those Forest fans in Brazil, or those of you who watch South American football, would you take Igor Jesus? Let me know what you think of him. I think he's a good striker with good attributes, but I don't quite know. I'm not sold on this. Maybe that's me being bitter because he doesn't want to come. Get your thoughts on it all in the comments down below. All right, I don't know why I'm still doing this on Cunha, but these are the reports coming out. And I know there's some of you that are still holding out hope that I am wrong about this. But as far as I can see, I've been right. It's been well over the 48 hours that Sky claimed that Forest were going to put a record-breaking club record bid in for Cunha. And I'm still waiting on it. I'm looking at nothing on Sky Sports News. Looking at, no, still nothing. So I think that I'm pretty much right on this one. I want to be wrong because I want Cunha. But what's interesting now is that Manchester United are interested in Cunha according to reports. And according to reports, they're going to pay £70 million. Now, what's happening here is quite simple, that Forest name was thrown out, probably for me from agents or from some certain aggregators, and that's not materialized. And I still think Cunha's agent is trying to do a couple of things to drum up interest in his client, or at the very least, maybe negotiate a few extra points on his new deal at Wolves. So this whole thing with Man U, anytime a player gets linked with Man U, I always take it with a pinch of salt because I've seen it so many times in the past. I remember, who was it? Ramos from Real Madrid wanted a new contract, so it got out in the papers that he was linked to Man U and he was able to probably add a zero on his weekly wages. So this kind of stuff happens a lot. And I think this story further underlines that what I've been hearing about Cunha is correct. Because if they're now getting desperate enough to start saying Manchester United, who, by the way, can't afford to buy Cunha for 70 million. Any idiot with, who can count to 4 would know that, unless they were to sell their players like Garnacho and whatever crap they have in that team. So this one for me, unfortunately, in my reckoning, further underlines the fact that Cunha is most likely going to stay at Wolves. Now, the only team I could see him realistically going to in this transfer window would be to Arsenal. But they're chasing Sesko, I think it is at the moment. That's their number one priority. If that fails, they may turn to Cunha, in the final hours of this transfer window. Bear in mind, it's now the 27th of February, and there are only a handful of days. I think the window closes on the 3rd for any deal to get done. I think what the market currently is waiting for is the domino effect. One big deal needs to go through. So could have a sale of, let's just say, Gyökeres, for example. Gyökeres gets sold, then suddenly Sporting will need to replace the striker. They got to pinch someone from somewhere. That team then needs to replace it, and it becomes this whole domino effect. And we haven't seen that yet because outside of City, really, in the league, apart from the odd splattering here and there, not many teams have made a move. However, what I will say is I still expect Forest to sign some players. I'll probably do a little shopping list video for you guys this week if you want that. If you do want it, let me know in the comments, where I talk about players that are available, that are realistic, that Forest can target. There are still some little bits in the fire that we have. Visser potentially may not be dead with Forest. Forest may decide to go back in and increase their bid to Brentford. I still can't see Brentford selling him. We got some links to some defenders and things like that. So I expect these next few days to really start bubbling up when it comes to transfer news. And Forest, after what happened at the weekend, have to strengthen that team. I think we've finally seen where the holes are. The only thing for me that stops it is if Nuno looks at the team and thinks to himself, with Danilo pretty much back and Sangare, next in line, does he look at that, as the old cliche goes, as 2 new signings and thinks that's going to bolster our midfield? I hope not, because we need another striker on top of another midfielder, in my opinion. So we'll keep you posted. It should start to bubble up quite nicely. But right now, the news for you guys is that the reports from Brazil are saying that Forest have had this bid for Igor Jesus rejected. Get your thoughts in down below. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you are new to Forest Fan TV. I'll be over on Sava's channel at 6 p.m. Make sure you tune in when he's probably going to complain about Ange Postecoglou, and I'm going to tell him that Forest are better than Spurs. So we will see you then. Thank you for watching. Come on, you Reds.